Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to Auntie Derek's Daytime Tea, where we discuss the latest celebrity tea in the news. I am your host, Auntie Derek, and I have here my wonderful co-host, I Chill. Hey, boo.
Hey y'all.
So I think we have some really good topics for us. We're gonna catch all up on the Diddy trial. Today's day 5 of the trial. But before we get into the tea, we want to give some do our May Mayhem segment, where we honor someone who causes good trouble in society. And we're going to honor I am happy to honor this legend, honey, on her birthday. Shout out to this woman, Janet Jackson. Now, I don't know if I wouldn't say I'm part of the Jan fam. I do have like a honorary membership, if you will, because I'm really a Khalees stan. But anyway, if it was not for Janet Jackson, then we would not have a lot of artists and a lot of like sensual, sexy dances that we see on stage today. Pretty much all the shit that gives me life. If it weren't for Janet Jackson, we probably wouldn't see a lot of that. But I was able to share this link from Britannica that gives a nice bio about her. And it says Janet Demita Jo Jackson, born May 16th of 1966 in Gary, Indiana, is an American singer and actress whose increasingly mature version of dance pop music made her one of the most popular recording artists of the 1980s and 90s. The youngest of 9 siblings in Motown's famed Jackson family, Janet Jackson parlayed her family's success into an independent career that spanned recordings, television, and film. She appeared as a regular on the 1970s television comedy series Good Times, and later as a teenager in the dance-oriented series Fame. Following an unremarkable recording debut in 1982 and in a 1984 follow-up album, Jackson took control of her career, moved out on her own, and developed her own sound and influential style. She reemerged in 1986 with her breakthrough record Control, which featured 5 singles that topped the R&B charts, including 2 top 10 pop hits, What Have You Done For Me Lately and Nasty. Her fierce independence struck a chord with the youth of the day, and Jackson rose to a level of stardom that rivaled that of Michael Jackson, the most famous of her brothers. Her collaborations with the production team of Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, based in Minneapolis, Minnesota, produced bold, beat heavy, catchy songs that defined the punch and power of the 1980s dance and pop music. Jackson returned in 1989 with her most diverse work, Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation, 1814. The album delivered 7 top 10 hit singles, including Miss You Much, Escapade, and Love Will Never Do Without You. Jackson continued to enjoy worldwide popularity and critical acclaim in the 1990s with the albums Janet. Uh, says Design of a Decade, The Velvet Rope, and All for You, which continued in the sensual vein of Janet and Demita Jo in 2004. Janet was at the center of a debate on decency standards on television when a quote unquote wardrobe malfunction that some argued was accidental and others said premeditated caused a scandal during her live performance at a halftime of the 2004 Super Bowl. Her later albums included 20YO and Discipline. Unbreakable, billed as a comeback album, used contemporary electronic arrangements to bolster the velvety vocals that had established Jackson as an R&B star. In 2019, Jackson was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. In addition to her music career, Jackson continued to act. In 1993, she made her film debut in Poetic Justice, which also starred Tupac Shakur. Her later movie credits included Why Did I Get Married and its sequel, Why Did I Get Married 2, that was written and directed by Tyler Perry. She also appeared in For Color Girls, Perry's adaptation of the theater piece For Color Girls Who Have Considered Suicide When the Rainbow Is Enough. Her life and career were the subject of the 4-part docuseries Janet Jackson that came out in 2022. So, and this one, she has been through it, and she. So, from what I understand about Janet, when she first came out, the people pretty much had a hand in how she was going to present herself musically, how she was going to sing, and she was like, you know what, I want to do my own thing. So when Control came out, people really saw that, oh, this girl was doing her own thing. Okay.
Yeah,
And but go ahead, bro.
she came out of the control of her dad because he controlled the Jackson Five, and I think he control her career when she first came out, and she didn't like that, and then Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis took over. Was that when that happened?
I believe so, because remember, this is a little bit I don't want to say before my time, but Control came out. That single came out the year I was born.
Yeah, I
So
think
anything
that.
that would have happened before that, I just have to go by word of mouth.
Yeah, I think that's when they took over, and that was her album.
Yeah.
She got.
Control.
hmm
Yeah. And we're gonna continue to honor her because she's actually going to get the Icon Award at the AMAs this year. And let me just share a quick link here from All Hip Hop.
Yes, Janet.
Okay. And you see where it says Janet Jackson earns music highest honor at 2025 AMAs. So Janet Jackson will be honored with the Icon Award and deliver her first televised performance in 7 years at the 2025 American Music Awards in Las Vegas. The 11-time AMA winner is set to take the stage on May 26th at the Fontainebleau Hotel, where she'll be recognized for her decades-long impact on music and culture. The award celebrates her undeniable culture and global influence, according to show producers. With sales of over 180 million records worldwide, Janet Jackson stands as one of the best selling artists of all time with a string of hits that have left an indelible impression on pop culture, a producer said. She is the record holder for the biggest selling debut tour in history and is the first woman to debut in the top 10 of the Hot 100 charts. Jackson acknowledged the honor on Instagram shortly after the announcement. Thank you so much, AMAs. It's an honor. We look forward to being on your stage again. Oh, maybe I should say it like her. Thank you so much, AMAs. It's an honor. We look forward to being on your stage again. See you in Vegas. Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. This will mark Jackson's first televised performance since 2018, just days after she resumes her Las Vegas residency on May 21st. Jennifer Lopez will host this year's ceremony.
Oh boy.
Mm, girl. Featuring Kendrick Lamar leading the nominations with 10 nods. Post Malone, Billie Eilish, Chaperone, and Shabuzi follow closely behind. Voting is currently open and will close, or it has closed as of yesterday, May 15th. So again, shout out to this icon. Congrats to you on winning the Icon Award. So she already has been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and now she's getting this Icon Award, which is music's highest honor. And keep doing your thing, girl. And happy birthday! And we wish you many, many, many more birthdays.
Good for
Oh, speaking of a Jan fam and wagons, hey, favorite Taurus.
Hello, everyone. Happy
her.
birthday to the dancing lady.
Yes. Happy birthday, dancing lady. Uh, well, does before we get started with the tea, did anybody want to add anything about this iconic dancing lady?
I did. I think it's wonderful, you know, how she's being honored by CBS after so many years and they're making an effort to make amends. It also speaks to actually the breadth of her artistry because she didn't have the support of CBS and Viacom for many years, and she was still able to thrive and go on successful tours and sell many albums. And so, but it's I guess and better late than never, I suppose. But it's nice that she's being honored in such a way. So, and plus, this is going to be her first. I read it was her first televised performance in what 7 years, 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
I know her fans are very excited, and I really hope that she brings it. So, but yeah, happy birthday to the dance lady.
Yes, go ahead, Chili.
I just want to verify with the Jan fam standing here that when she made the album Control, isn't that when Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis took over her career? Is that when that album came out?
Uh, Took over? I don't think so. I don't think they really took over. They just really helped her harness like her artistry because her dad was in control. Well, no pun intended.
Right.
So control is when everything really popped off for her.
But they
And so
produced that album, is what I'm saying.
yeah, they wrote and produced that with her.
Okay. That's what I said earlier before you got here. I just wanted to make sure I was right that that's when that album was produced, was when they, helped her with her career.
Yeah, your auntie was born 1986.
Yes. Great year. You know it was a great year, honey, because they referencing every chance they get. You know how they say, "Oh, let's 86 that," because that was a great year. Have mercy, 86, bitch. Bitch, you got me fucked up in this chat. I tell you that. Well, again, happy birthday, dancing lady, and we wish you many, many, many more birthdays, and hell, many, many, many more icon awards. To be honest, because it don't look like she's gonna be stopping anytime soon. And then she doing that Vegas residency that's gonna resume again on May 21st. Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
And hopefully another album. It's been 11 years. TikTok,
Yeah.
TikTok.
Hello, wake that up. Well, let's go ahead and get started with the tea, honey.
It's tea time.
Yes. And so we're gonna we're gonna do the same thing that we did all week. We're gonna continue on with the Diddy trial updates using the people link, and we're gonna pick up right where we left off yesterday. So as we left off yesterday, we learned that she was being cross-examined by the defense team, by Diddy's defense team. So let me just pick up where we see. Okay, so it says the selected messages, many of which referred to as freak-offs, were apparent expressions of love sent during the early years of their relationship, seemed to be part of the defense's strategy to portray Combs as a swinger, but not as someone who coerced Ventura into the now infamous sex parties. Ventura acknowledged that she was afraid Combs would find someone else if she didn't agree to have sex with him and didn't want to disappoint him, which is why she said she ultimately agreed to the freak-offs. It felt special because not a lot of people had that kind of time with him, Ventura said. Estavio began, one of Diddy's attorneys, began asking if Ventura loved Combs while they were together, to which the singer responded that she did. Okay, so the next update, Cassie asked about her settled November 2023 lawsuit against Diddy. Ventura, who at times giggled at some of the nearly decade-old messages, was also asked if she believed if Combs was addicted to any substances. What substances? Opiates, Ventura said. Yes, he told me, and I saw it. Estavio also directly asked Ventura about the November 2023 lawsuit she filed against Combs that set off a wave of subsequent accusations. Fair to say his career was ruined after your lawsuit, Estavio asked. And Cassie replied, I can understand that, yeah. Okay, so we found out that he's addicted to opiates. Um, let me see. Cassie said the next update. Cassie said she was jealous of Diddy's relationship with Kim Porter. Now this is interesting. As cross-examination of Ventura bore on, the defense asked her about Kim Porter, Combs' longtime on and off again girlfriend, and the mother of 3 of his children. Ventura admitted that she had some jealousy of Miss Porter, with whom she said Combs spent holidays instead of her. It upset me. It did, Ventura testified. Porter, who died in 2018, had 3 kids with the Bad Boy Records founder, and those kids are Christian King Combs, Jesse, and Delilah, the twins. She was also the mother of Quincy Brown, whose biological father is singer Albie Shore, and who was later adopted by Combs. Christian Combs and Brown have appeared in the gallery of the courtroom during their father's trial. Jesse and Delilah were in attendance Monday, but left the courtroom more than once during testimony detailing explicit sexual encounters. Okay. So in the next update, so remember that there was speculation that Diddy like laced the baby oil, all the baby oil that he was using with some type of a drug or something that was supposed to like get into the skin. Cassie said that this was not true. So the next update says Cassie says no drugs were in baby oil. At the request of the defense, Ventura dispelled a rumor that baby oil used during freak-offs was laced with drugs, a rumor that had gained prominence online. You testified yesterday you would heat up the baby oil, and that's the only thing you did to it, right? Ventura was asked. The pool was filled with baby oil, will require a lot, right? A defense attorney pressed. Ventura answered yes to all of it, seemingly in response to claims that he'd used a mixture of baby oil and the drug, um, chill, I'm going to mispronounce this, Rohypnol or
Yeah.
GHB. I did, Rohypnol and GHB on one of his victims. Okay, so there was no drugs in the baby oil. They say Tootsie Roll and opioids is a wild combination. And we see the coming Nurse Horick. Oh, thank you. And then the last update from yesterday, it says Diddy suspected Cassie was having an affair with Michael B. Jordan. So Ventura was asked if Combs had ever suspected her of having an affair with anyone in the film industry while she was filming a movie in South Africa, referring to the 2016 film Honey 3, which I have never seen, by the way, but okay. Uh, Mr. Combs suspected you of a relationship with whom? Estavio asked. Michael B. Jordan, Ventura answered. During the jury selection, potential jurors were asked if they were familiar with several celebrities, including the center star. Jordan is not expected to testify during Combs' trial. So I don't know why they felt the need to. Well, I'm sure there was a reason for them. I'm sure they're like there's no coincidences like when it comes to that defense team. So maybe they're trying to like introduce that to maybe paint Cassie as some type of a whore or something that just goes around spreading it. I don't know. But go ahead, favorite Taurus.
First of all, Auntie not seeing a bad movie is shocking to me.
Well, I did see the first two, if that counts.
Yes, it does. No, but that's exactly what they're doing. Auntie, they're trying to paint her as like this jealous girlfriend as opposed to a victim, which naturally that's what they're supposed to do because that's what they're being paid for. But I have to really give a mention to Cassie's team because I did go back and read the transcript for many of the trial because in real time was just a lot for me, and so I can honestly say that her team, her legal team, prompted her very well about what was going to be asked, how it was going to be asked, and so on. Because if you notice how she went through the notion of almost giggling, it gave the air of, oh my God, I was so young back then. I'm off that now. She even asked whoever to read the text messages for her, which essentially shows that, I'm so far past this. And it kind of debunks her, or it kind of conflicts or deflates, that's the word, their intentions of making her seem like this emotional, irrational woman because she's pregnant. You know how the Western society thinks, unfortunately. So kudos to her team for sure. So I, I guess for the rest of the cross examination, there's going to be even more of that, but I'm pretty sure her team's going to has already given her notes as to what to expect. So I'm curious to see what else they bring up as a means of trying to discredit her story and make her seem like she's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. She has done very well under this pressure. Absolutely. Especially being, what, 8.5 months pregnant? Oh, my God. And it's funny that y'all bring that up because that was actually enough. So I'm going to share today's people link for day 5 of the live updates. It looks like they only have 2 so far, but the first one, it says prosecutors claim risk of mistrial if Cassie goes into labor on the witness stand. So it looks like they may be like, they know this is stressful. It says in a letter to the judge, prosecutors have accused the defense of taking too long to cross-examine Ventura, who is 8.5 months pregnant. The defense is hoping to risk a mistrial, prosecutors claim, which could happen if Ventura goes into labor. The inefficiency of cross-examination yesterday raises the inference that the defendant hopes to accomplish precisely that outcome, prosecutors wrote. So they do think that they probably stalled when cross-examining her and taking more time than what they need to. I don't know. And then the next update, it says Diddy texted Cassie, "I'm so horny for you," days after the LA hotel assault. The jury was shown messages Combs sent Ventura 4 days after the assault at the Intercontinental Hotel in 2016. I'm so horny for you, with three exclamation points, Combs wrote. You are? What made you feel that way? Ventura responded. I felt that way from Friday. What are you doing? Combs wrote. Not a good vibe. We need a different vibe than Friday, Ventura responded, referencing to the incident. So that was the latest update from today. I'm sure there's going to be more because we know that we read that both Don Richard and Aubrey O'Day will be taking the stand. And baby, when I tell y'all, I cannot wait to hear what they have to say. I can't wait. I cannot wait, honey. And I wish it was updated now, but it's not. So we'll just have to wait. So go ahead, favorite Taurus.
You and me both, Auntie, because you know, Auntie, I mean, not Auntie, Aubrey's on the white woman up and down that courtroom. She's been chomping at the bit for almost 20 years now. She got a shit ton to say, and she got a shit ton of evidence. And I wouldn't be surprised if that was like the catalyst to kind of bring forth even additional charges or confirm the ones that are already there. Because you can kind of see how the trial is going to go, right? You start with Cassie. She's building the skeleton. You got Aubrey and the legendary Dawn. They're building the muscle, right?
Yes.
And then whoever else is next, they're going to build the skin. So you can tell they're really building like a full bodied case to really confirm, why it is that he has been in jail for so long. And so but also at the same time, I think it's incredibly disgusting. I don't have much exposure to like legal and all of that. Like, how would they allegedly intentionally stall to cause harm to a pregnant woman so she goes in labor in order to cause a mistrial? That is so disgusting to me.
Yep. Yes, indeed. And the prosecutor see it for what it is, so that's why they sent that letter to the judge. So we will keep y'all updated. Oh, and I just want to tell y'all early on in the show. So due to some errands that Auntie has to work, because I'm just so busy. I have errands. But I will not be able to have a show on Monday. Won't be able to have a live show. But I think to make it up, I haven't decided yet. I may do a surprise Sunday show. Maybe. I haven't decided yet. But I think I might just so I can make up for Monday. Because I want to know like I want to know the rest because remember, like I want to read the rest of this for what Dawn and Aubrey has to say. So
Yeah,
go
yeah. We don't want to wait till Tuesday to hear it because it's happening
hello.
today. I hear you.
Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
Auntie has so much to do. He's so popular. He's an adult. He has to earn so much. We don't have time for us. We'll put those in. Send us pictures. So you don't have pictures? You don't have errands like him because he's so popular. He's so busy like Auntie. You all should have errands like Auntie. He's so busy.
Boy, when I tell you that gets me every time, honey. I'm like, I do sound like that. Well, does anybody want to add anything else about this trial? Yeah, you're right, Chill, because I don't want to wait till Tuesday to find out the tea either. So yeah, I think I'm more than likely going to do a show on Sunday.
Yay.
But does anyone want to add anything before we go on to the next story? All right. Well, the next story we won't spend too much time on it because we kind of already know the details of this. But now, because of that lawsuit, the against Smokey Robinson with his housekeepers, he's now being criminally investigated. So I just shared this link from NPR. Smokey Robinson under criminal investigation after sexual assault allegations. So legendary Motown singer, songwriter, and musician Smokey Robinson is being criminally investigated by the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department following allegations accusing him of a series of sexual assaults dating back to 2014. The accusations came last week in a civil suit filed by four former housekeepers who work for the 85-year-old Robinson, in which they are asking for $50 million in damages. An attorney for the singer, sorry, give me one second. Pop up just came up. Okay, an attorney for the singer denies the allegations. In a written statement, the sheriff's department on Thursday said the Los Angeles County Sheriff Department Special Victims Bureau is actively investigating criminal allegations involving William Robinson, aka Smokey Robinson. The investigation is in its early stages, and we have no further comment. In the civil lawsuit, the four women identified only as Jane Doe's 1 through 4 accused Robinson of what their attorney, John Harris, calls sexual battery, assault, false imprisonment, gender violence, and creating a hostile work environment. All right, so doom doom boom boom the Law and Order theme song because the Special Victims Bureau is looking into smoking, honey. Mm-mm. Child, this is I really don't have words because this is just like so ugh
Sad,
yeah.
sad to
Go
see him being called out at this age. But hey, it's never too late to call out predators, so I'm going
that
to
part.
choose to believe the women unless it's proved false. Go ahead, Will.
Wah 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 wah.
Yeah. Yes, indeed, honey. Well, I'm sure we'll find out more about that. We haven't heard the last of this. Does anybody want to add anything before we go to the next story? All right. So, go ahead, favorite Taurus.
So I got here a little late. Yeah, I'm very intrigued by this story because if this is dating back to 2014, and he's had many housekeepers since then, I'm sure. I'm curious to know if any of his previous employees will come forward as well to kind of confirm the claims that are brought up by the ones that filed the suit. Because as you know, this is most likely not the first time, the 10th time, the 100th time that he's done something so egregious. And so, it's gonna, I have a feeling it's gonna be like a lesser version of the Diddy trial because naturally the focus is on one person, right? But there are going to be so many other names brought up, popped up, that's going to provide more color to the actual story. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this
Mm-hmm.
pans out, and if he is indeed guilty of those things, like listen, what they track those. Not to compare one thing to another, but if I recall correctly, they were still tracking down those the Nazis in Germany, in Brazil when they were 96 to provide or to bring them to trial for their crimes as well. So it's never too late. You know, what's done to the dark will always come to the light.
I know that's right. Go ahead, Chilling.
I also think this is by far not uncommon among wealthy people who have power and privilege hiring housekeepers from other countries and sexually abusing them. I think this is a probably widespread issue, and I hope this encourages more women to come forward and not be afraid to report these people because they feel like, they have no voice. So, shout out to these women for bringing it out, even though they have a fear of deportation, especially in today's climate, that they did that.
Yes. Hell up, wake that up, chill. And Will, I think you are absolutely right. I think these four women is going to give other employees like the courage to be like, you know what? Let me tell my story. Similar to what they did with Diddy. When Cassie woke that shit up, everybody was like, oh, well, shit, I got some experience with this motherfucker. Let me tell you all about it. So, yeah, nasty fuck. What I tell you about them light skinned men with light eyes. Not only do they look like gerbils, a lot of them are predators, allegedly.
Gerbils.
Do he not look like a gerbil in the face?
I wouldn't say durable. He,
I
he
would. That is a gerbil right there. Or a guinea pig, maybe.
he looks like George Washington, if anything, but not a gerbil.
I couldn't make a connection either, Will, but I was going to let you go with that.
And look at Ham McGains in the chat talking about some gerbil. You look, bitch. You know I'm from the Bull City, honey, so you know we say things a certain way. Well, y'all, hunt, I am really screaming. Well, honey, how about so you know how a lot of times we want to know less about people. So do y'all remember Lord, the girl who made that iconic song Royals that came out when in like 2012, 2013?
Yeah, we heard of her.
Okay. Well, honey, she's telling us that she was watching Tommy Lee and Pamela Anderson's sex tape while she was high on while she was during psychedelic therapy. So I just shared this link from People, and y'all see where it says Lord recalls watching the Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee sex tape after psychedelic therapy. I found it to be so beautiful, she says. Lord is opening up about watching a certain sex tape after going through psychedelic therapy. In a cover story with Rolling Stone, published on Thursday, May 15th, the pop star, whose real name is Ella Yalik O'Connor, opened up about how after her second psychedelic therapy session, she looked for Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee's sex tape and watched the entire thing. I found it to be so beautiful, Lord, who's 28, told the publication. And maybe it's fucked up that I watched it, but I saw two people that were so in love with each other. The What Was That hitmaker said that she saw a purity in it. They were jumping off this big boat. They were like children, said Lord. They were so free. And I was just like, whoa, being this free comes with danger. Elsewhere in the interview, the Greenlight singer revealed that she pursued MDMA and psilocybin therapy. If I said that wrong, I apologize. But she did that.
Yeah.
How you say it, girl?
Oh, psilocybin, I think. It's a
Psilocybin.
complicated word.
It
See
sure
with the
was.
S sound.
I said psilocybin, huh? That sounds like somebody's name. So, but she did that kind of therapy from 2022 to 2024. I was touring without stage fright for the first time, said Lord. The therapy also allowed her to feel differently about her music. I would play Supercut, said Lord, and all of a sudden there was a hook around my guts, and everyone in the room was having the same feeling, like there being a huge pressure change. She added, it made me realize how much I love and kind of need that very deep, visceral response to feel my music. In 1995, Anderson, who's 58, and Lee, who's 62, were married from February 1995 to 1998 and shared two sons together. Brandon and Dylan took a houseboat trip to Lake Mead for their honeymoon, where they filmed intimate moments. Later, they were compiled by a third party into a sex tape. We weren't trying to make a porno just to document our vacation, the Motley Crue drummer later wrote of the video. In May of 2020, Anderson commented on why she didn't think her sex tape was one on Watch What Happens Live, with Andy Cohen saying that was not a sex tape. That was a compilation of vacations that we were naked on. She also noted that she had never seen the video and had not made $1 from its distribution. In September of 2021, interview with Entertainment Tonight, Lee shared his thoughts on his and Anderson's sex tape scandal being turned into a Hulu series while attending the MTV Video Music Awards. I feel like it was forever ago, he said, but it's a cool story and people need to know. It's cool. I'm stoked. Added Lee, I think a lot of people would think it's one thing, but it's really about privacy and how things got crazy then. Uh, that's different. There's different laws now, he says. So, she said, "Is that an X Man? You so stupid." Go ahead, favorite tourist.
If memory serves me correctly, Auntie, didn't they show that shit on VH1 in like the early 2000s?
Oh wow, I don't know.
But
I actually remember.
they blurred out like the nude and sex part, and they were like, oh, it's so scandalous. We're going to show the Tommy Lee and Pamela Anderson sex tape on VH1. So scandalous. I think I remember that. It was on network television, but of course it was like 10 o'clock at night.
Oh,
But yeah.
but is she still on drugs or
Who
why?
Lord?
Yes,
Yes, she is, and she's saying that the drugs actually help her get over her stage fright.
and they making her talk too damn much.
Uh huh.
And
Like,
they make her
girl.
look like adorable. That's adorable.
That's adorable. No, she really looked like Bronte from You season 5.
Mm-mm.
And remember how they said Bronte looked like she eats people?
Oh my God, they talk about that woman so bad.
They did. Well, speaking of Tommy Lee, honey, y'all know he was actually with Brittany Furlan, and
No,
they just broke up, child.
we didn't know that.
Oh, y'all didn't know? Well, they
No.
not together no more, so I guess it don't even matter. So I just shared this link from TMZ. Tommy Lee and Brittany Furlan separate. Source says his drinking is the issue.
Mm.
So Tommy Lee and Brittany Furlan are separated, possibly heading for divorce, and his drinking is at the center of the split, TMZ has learned. Brittany and the Motley Crue drummer have been living separately for the past 2 weeks, according to sources close to the couple. We're told Brittany and other people around Tommy feel like his drinking has gotten out of hand, and while they've urged him to get sober, Tommy has been resistant. Although the estranged couple is no longer living together, we're told that they are still in communication. There have been some public signs of trouble in their relationship. Tommy unfollowed his wife on Instagram, and on Thursday, he posted a video of himself in the studio saying he's working on a song called Stupid Girl. Our sources say it's unclear at this point if either of them intends to file for divorce. Tommy and Brittany got married in 2019 after meeting in 2017 and announcing their engagement in 2018. They do not have any kids together. We've reached out to a rep for Tommy, no word back yet. And when we contacted Brittany, she had no comment. So, oh, we didn't care. Y'all are hilarious. Well, does anybody want to add anything about these people y'all don't care about? I will add a Tommy for a white man, honey. He had him a nice piece on him. Oh, and, oh, isn't he a Libra? I think Tommy Lee is a Libra, honey. Let me Google real quick. Tommy Lee birthday. October 3rd. I knew it. He didn't know how to use it. Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. Just like having a sports car and not knowing how to drive it. The day before mine, yes. Ooh, don't tell yourself like that to Hammy. Okay. Well, y'all, this next story is very weird, and I think maybe Taylor Swift should be put on a watch list or something. I don't know, allegedly. But girl, why are they finding human remains near one of her holiday houses? And I'm sharing this link from People. You see where it says human remains found near Taylor Swift's Rhode Island home. So a grim scene unfolded not far from Taylor Swift's holiday house in the morning of May 14th. Westerly, Rhode Island police confirmed to People that what appeared to be human remains were found in the Watch Hill area, the affluent enclave where the singer's seaside mansion is located. Officers that arrived to the scene on Everett Avenue around 9:30 a.m. uncovered what appeared to be a human leg bone, according to a statement shared with People. The remains were transported to the Rhode Island Medical Examiner's office for analysis. Investigators are awaiting official confirmation of the identity of the remains, the statement continues. No foul play is suspected at this time. A resident who spoke to the local news outlet, NBC 10 WJAR, her name was Taylor Day, and she said she saw 3 police cars, one undercover, and there was a medical examiner pulling in behind me. She added, it kind of alarmed me, and it was just something very out of the ordinary for Westerly. They called out the proximity to Swift's landmark home and the area's most famous historic hotel. It was probably a couple of football fields away from Taylor Swift's house and the Ocean House she shared. I would never expect anything like that, especially not in Watch Hill. Swift purchased her home for reportedly $17.75 million in 2013, according to the New York Times, and has famously hosted 4th of July parties there. Attended a bevy of celebrity friends, including Ed Sheeran, Gigi Hadid, Bradley Cooper, the Haim sisters, and Selena Gomez. The affluent beach town is otherwise known for its Victorian-style homes and what the Times once dubbed a strong sense of privacy. High-profile visitors from Clark Gable to Henry Ford to Conan O'Brien and Hugh Jackman have spent time in the village. High Watch, as Swift's 1920s property was previously known, overlooks East Beach and the Atlantic Ocean and was notably once owned by Standard Oil heiress Rebecca West Harkness. the subject of Swiss song, "The Last Great American Dynasty." Okay, so it may not have been maybe it was this other lady, this heiress Rebecca West Harkness. Maybe she was the reason why they found that bone around that human leg bone around there. KKK rallies they made. Oh, wake that up, Will. About, oh, this is out of the ordinary for Wesley. We usually don't do stuff like, baby, that was a whole dog whistling. I heard it. Go ahead, Chili.
Oh, is that all they found was a bone? Is Long Island and Rhode Island close to each other?
Not that I don't think so.
No.
Don't
Oh,
quote me though, but I don't think so.
okay. Okay.
Mm. The only thing I know about Rhode Island is that's where Claudia Jordan is from. I know nothing about Rhode Island. Well, that's that on that, child. Like I said, put Taylor ass on a watch list, or maybe that other lady. Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
But they're leaving out so many other aspects of the story. Like, how long has the bone been there? Do they believe it was dumped? They just saw human remain bone in Taylor Swift and they made a story of it. I find this to be a little bit irresponsible because she may indeed not have anything to do with the situation, but you're bringing her name into the shit. So, but of course, anything for clicks and views, you know,
Of course.
it's annoying.
And
Well,
you know, using Taylor's name is one of the quickest ways to get a lot of clicks and views.
I hope people of a discerning nature. I mean, she's not the only person that's been in that home for sure. Um, would not make the jump to this has something to do with her. I know there are some idiots who may make that jump, but for most people, I think it's, oh, it was found on her land, but what does that mean? You know?
Yep. And then it was the no foul play was suspected for me. I'm like, okay, y'all found a human leg and you're saying no foul play was suspected? Okay. Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
Which I would say some because, of course, the average reading level in this here country is third grade.
Wake it up.
So I wouldn't give majority of people that much credit. No, there's people who have functioning brains. Not many of us who have functioning brains that work, and we use them as such. So some of us, not most.
Yeah, I guess we kind of assume that there's more of us out there, but maybe not. But I mean, that bone could have come from anywhere. It could have washed up um, and been buried over time, you know, by silt and whatever. May not have even had anything to do if they only found a bone and not a whole skeleton. Maybe they're out there looking to see if they find more. I don't know, but yeah, to just put her name in the story, it does make clicks. But I mean, it is near her home, not at her home,
Right.
like
Mm-hmm.
near her home. That's wild.
And watch they do all the DNA research. Oh, look, it was the remains of an ancient human from 12,000 years ago. Oh my God! See,
Chill.
Or missing
I
maybe
don't,
some person that they discovered, you know. Oh yeah, it's attached to this body that we discovered, 13 years ago or whatever. It's crazy.
and Will, I'm with you. I had so many questions after this article. Like after I was reading, I was like, okay, how long has the bone? How old is the bone? Where now? I think we know exactly because they don't that lady who they interviewed. She didn't even know where they found. She just saw like a bunch of police cars and stuff. So she was like, it could be by the football field, or it could be by that hotel, or it could be near Taylor's house. I don't know. So this is weird.
It's just
Weird.
nearby. So
Mm-hmm.
let's put Taylor's name in there.
I know that's right. Well, you know what? Let me do that. I'm gonna make sure I put a hashtag Taylor so people can click on my damn podcast and listen to me. I'm talking about Taylor, y'all. Listen to me.
Well, that orange man said she's not popular anymore since he said he hates her because he has so much influence. I'm like, really? You
Ooh,
think that?
child. One
You
thing
really
about them
think
Gemini
that?
men, honey, they really like overestimate their their like.
Hey, that's way past overestimation right there. Go ahead, Will.
I can only imagine like people see Taylor Swift in the hashtag Auntie show and they come in here, it's like, oh my god, the show is so niggerish. What do we lock in on? What is that?
Like that little Kim video. You in the hood now, baby. Well, speaking of hood and hood shit, so we read that we don't really need to talk about like DDG and stuff. We did learn that her restraining order against him was granted because of his abuse. She has sole custody of the of their son right now up until their trial date, which will be, I believe, June 2nd. I know some early June. I just don't know the exact date right now. But of course, a lot of celebrities have chimed in, including like Soldier Boy, who gonna talk about DDG is a bitch ass nigga, gonna tweet him and stuff like talking about how to beat your ass. I'm like, I actually tweeted Soldier Boy. I said, baby, you need to worry about the cutting your own grass, so you worry about somebody else's yard, because then you just get. But whatever. Anyway, I bring this up because Lil Scrappy, of all people, called himself wanted to comment on shit. And when I tell you social media got his ass together, I said, good job, y'all. So I'm sharing this link from the Shade Room. And you see the headline: Yikes! Social media roasts Lil Scrappy over comment about men getting no support amid Halle Bailey and DDG drama.
Shutting the fuck up. Just people don't get us free, huh?
Child, exactly. And then the article starts out, woo child. And I'm not kidding. That's exactly how it starts out. Woo child. The internet is cooking Lil Scrappy after he threw in what he believes is 2 cents from his supposed $11 on Halle Bailey and DDG's ongoing drama. Scrappy sparked some reactions after he dropped a question following the leak of an alleged text message from DDG claiming that Halle was messing with Brent Fayez. And I just want to say, Halle is not messing with that ugly ass nigga. Well, if she is, then girl. Anyway, roommates. If you've been tapped in, then you already know the drama between Halle Bailey and DDG got messy really quick. Social media went wild after Halle accused DDG of alleged emotional and physical abuse. Then, shortly after her St. Lucia vacation with Halo and her big sis Chloe Bailey, DDG allegedly sent her some alleged text messages accusing her of secretly linking with Brent Fayez. Those alleged texts linked online, and now Lil Scrappy has jumped into the convo with some thoughts on it all. Scrappy entered the shade room and dropped a little comment asking why folks ride for women in these situations, but don't keep the same energy for the men. Why y'all don't be supporting the men when the women tell lies to persuade public opinion? Lil Scrappy wrote. Child, the internet wasn't feeling Scrap's comment at all, with many folk demanding that he sit this combo out. Let me see. One user says, Scrappy, please keep your 2 cents from your $11. And then another said, Halle never spoke to the public, but DDG has. The only person that tried to persuade public opinion was him. Another comment said, Scrappy, this is the wrong conversation for you. Just go on about your business. And another said, she showed proof. If he wants people to believe otherwise, show his proof. Then another comment said, Scrappy, please focus on your multiple broken homes. No one asked for your opinion on the matter. Then another user said, she never told a lie. Sis actually never spoke about it. TMZ was the one who told us. And then somebody said, what the fuck is wrong with men like, oh my fucking God? When have we not supported men that have been falsely accused? Like, huh? Somebody else says, she didn't tell lies to the public. She told her truth to a judge. And then somebody else says, y'all do know every woman can't be lying, right? So that's that. So one thing about that I do love about the shade room is the comment section, honey, because people be going off. I know, like a lot of people think that the shade room is like low hanging fruit, and it is. Quiet as kept, it is, but it's entertaining. So, but yeah, keep it. And you know what? We need more energy like this. We need to start telling stupid motherfuckers to sit their stupid asses down. Well, that's that on that. Does anybody want to add anything?
Sit down, Scrappy.
Okay, y'all. So we learned. So yesterday we talked about Chris Brown and his ass getting arrested as soon as he landed down in the UK. And now we have like, because we knew from yesterday is that he hit someone over the head with a bottle. But honey, we have like details of what happened, and I just want to give out a trigger warning because y'all know this is very violent. So I just shared this link from People, and y'all see where it says Chris Brown hit producer several times with bottle. UK court hears as he denied bail in two series of grievous bodily harm case. Chris Brown has appeared at a UK court a day after police confirmed he'd been charged with grievous bodily harm following an alleged nightclub assault in 2023. On Friday, May 16th at 12:47 p.m. local time, the musician, who's 36, appeared at Manchester's Magistrate Court in the north of England after being taken into custody in the early hours of the morning the day prior. Brown wore all black with Nike tracksuit bottoms and a black t-shirt for his court appearance. Child, he might as well have wore black Air Forces too with his crazy ass. Anyway, the Manchester Evening News, abbreviated as MEN, reported that his hearing had to be moved to a larger courtroom inside the building because of the huge public interest in watching the proceedings. District Judge Joanne Hurst informed Brown that charges of grievous bodily harm are too serious to be heard in the magistrate's court and move the case to a Crown Court. A new date is set for June 13th at Southwark Crown Court in London. Brown will be held in custody until the new June date and was denied bail by the judge, who was presented with evidence that Brown is a flight risk. Prosecutor Hannah Nichols claimed in court that the alleged 2023 attack was captured on CCTV footage and carried out in a club full of people, according to MEN. Nichols claimed that Brown struck producer Abe Diao with a bottle several times before chasing him through the London nightclub and allegedly punching and kicking the producer. Brown's appearance came after the Metropolitan Police said in a statement shared with People on Thursday, a 36-year-old man was arrested at a hotel in Manchester shortly after 200 hours on Thursday, the 15th of May, on suspicions of grievous bodily harm. He has been taken into custody where he remains. They continue. The arrest relates to an incident at a venue in Hanover Square on February 19th of 2023. The investigation is being led by detectives from the Central West Area Basic Command Units. Excuse me. Police later named Brown in a news release confirming that his arrest that he'd been charged with grievous bodily harm with intent and remained in custody until his court appearance on Friday. Per the MEN, the With You singer was arrested at the 5-star Lowry Hotel in Salford, which he listed as his current address in court. The Sun claimed Brown had flown into Manchester Airport on a private jet on Thursday afternoon. The Manchester police, who are based in London, traveled to Manchester for the arrest, the outlet stated. Brown was sued by producer Abe Diao in November of 2023 over an alleged assault that took place at the Tate nightclub in February that year. The club is located on Hanover Square, as we know. In the lawsuit, which was examined by People, the producer accused Brown of beating him and said that he suffered crushing blows to the head, which left him unconscious. He reportedly used a bottle of Don Julio 1942 tequila for the alleged attack. Diao alleged that Brown continued to ruthlessly stomp on him for 30 seconds. The producer ended up in the hospital with lacerations on his head and torn ligaments in his leg, and he was left with permanent damage and severe emotional distress per the lawsuit. Brown is currently set to embark on his Breezy Bowl XX tour in celebration of 20 years of his career. Per his website, his show is still scheduled to kick off with a performance in Amsterdam on June 8th before heading to Germany and stopping in Manchester on June 15th and 16th. He's scheduled to return to the city on June 24th and July 3rd before performing shows in Paris and Portugal and then heading to Miami to kick off the US and Canada dates on July 30th. People reached out to Brown's rep on Thursday, May 15th, but did not immediately hear back. The musician has a history of being involved in brawls and legal problems stemming back to 2019 when he was arrested for assaulting his ex-girlfriend, Rihanna. He pled guilty to felony assault that year, reaching a plea agreement. At that time, he spared him jail. So yeah, honey. Well, I hope he enjoys the do they serve like beans and toast in the jails in the UK, or like fish and chips?
Oh, we know.
Uh, you enjoy your stay, honey. He think he getting ready to get out there and start that tour. No, you not, baby. That tour was supposed to start on June 8th. He gonna be detained into his court date, which is on June 15th. So I wonder if maybe they're gonna have to everybody who bought those tickets gonna have to be refunded.
Or he gets sued because there's contracts behind tours. And this is not something that they did; it's something he did. But food in that part of the country is notoriously talked about, so I'm sure he isn't enjoying it.
It's what he deserves.
Yeah, he had a lot of nerve going back there, knowing he left the country after that happened, and I'm sure he got out of town. So, uh, yeah, that's why they won't let him out now
Mm-hmm.
and just get back on a jet and get out of there.
And they were right. They said they consider him a flight risk, and they're right because they know his ass will do that
Hmm.
on that private jet. They said, "Pip pip cheerio, bitch, bring your ass here." He
And then
said,
oh yeah, you want to do a concert in the UK? Sure, come on. Uh-huh. We're selling tickets now.
and Hammy says the only good food is fish and chips. I actually heard that from somebody else. Too. Ruperta, she was the one who told us. She was like the only thing that she enjoyed over there was fish and chips. And somebody else told me that the pie and mash was good. Yeah, maybe I'll try. I actually do want to try a fry up like that British breakfast, that big old like because that look like my kind of carrying on. And I'll eat the beans too. I'm not putting it on my toast because I don't get down like that. But
Right.
it is. Somebody told me that the beans are actually like because beans we think of like more savory if anything. They say that their beans over there are like actually sweet, and that's why people enjoy them on toast and shit.
Yeah, they look like baked beans, so baked beans tend to be sweet.
Hmm.
Yeah, I would get down on that breakfast.
Yes. Well, does anybody want to add anything about Crack Brown before we go to the next story?
Cheerio.
Okay. Pip pip cheerio, bitch. Tally ho, or whatever they be saying over there in the UK.
You almost made me spit out my drink. Stop.
Y'all. Let me see, give me 1 second let me get this next story. Do y'all remember we talked about not too long ago? Evelyn Lozada's daughter, Shanice. She
Yes,
had a
yes.
baby with the game.
Uh huh.
Baby, well, she's a single mom now. And we
Oh,
kind of
already?
already chill. I'm not even kidding her. I'm sharing this link from the Shade Room. And y'all see where it says here, what's T? Shanice Harrison reveals she's a single mom amid the game, sharing this IG post. Said, what? That is shocking. No, exactly, hun.
Like that.
So,
What's that meme? I'm shocked. I'm so.
right. So I'm gonna share my screen and we're gonna watch Shanice talk about it on a she was on a podcast with her mom with Anansa Sims, and they were all talking about because they pretty much were talking about how it's hard for women with children to date. And that's what she brought up. Well, I'm a single mom now. And so give me 1 second, let me share my screen. Hey, gorgeous moon. All right, and let's see what Shanice has to say.
You said you were previously married and you have 3 children from that marriage. I'm now a single mom, and my big thing now that I'm a mom, I think it was just such an insecurity of dating as a mom. Was that a thing for you?
It was. I remember being told like nobody's gonna want you with 3 kids.
Sometimes I feel that way with my
Not true.
one, and it's in my
Yeah,
head.
I have
Learning
5
that.
children, and my DMs are
I'm
all
learning.
over the place.
Are they sending you pics?
They're sending me all types of stuff. I think that is unfortunately something that is said to hold you back, to make you overthink. No, there are guys that might be like, oh no, those are not the guys for
Well,
you.
then you can go.
I would say 9 times out of 10, they're like,
No.
I love that you're a mom. You're so nurturing. You're such a good mom. The right person is gonna love all of that about you.
You actually told me that nobody cares.
No, my mom told me, she's like, Anansa, you're educated, you're beautiful, you're a kind person. Like, mom. You're
Right.
just saying that. You're just saying that.
So yeah, now I will say, like, based on my personal experience, I my mother was dating as a single mother, and I will say she didn't have any problem like in dating with me and my brother. So I don't know, but go ahead, Shirley.
Well, let me tell you why. Because pussy is powerful, and men do not care if you have children. That doesn't mean they want to be the baby's daddy. They want to be a, a stepdaddy or any of that. If they want to have sex with you, they don't care if you have children. They really don't. Men will just do whatever they can to get next to the coochie. So, um, some men don't want to date women with, young children. Now, that is a thing, but it's not a big enough thing to say that the single moms ain't getting no action. I mean, that's just, come on.
Yeah.
Wars have been fought over that orifice. You hear me?
Hello.
So to think that a single mother is not going to get any action is just ridiculous. And then they move on. And the thing is, just don't expose your children to every single person you date because they might not even be around for a long time. At least wait until you're sure you may have a long term relationship, not even a marriage, but before you bring your kids into, your dating life. And just yeah, it's not a problem.
Agreed. Now, some comments. She and Moon. You see Moon's comment in the chat. Did she think the game was going to be her man forever? And pretty much like all of the comments on this video were they had that same sentiment. There was like one girl said, "Shanice, you chose to be a single mom." Somebody else said, "She and the game broke up already." Damn. Somebody else said, "Having a baby with the game is wild. You're like stock that crashed. Know your worth. You were worth more, Shanice. Like you could have had gotten a billionaire." Somebody else says, "Just a quick question. How are you now? A single mom, your baby is still very young." Somebody else says, "Still trying to figure out how she ended up messing with the game. Lord." Somebody else says, "Shanice didn't use her pretty privilege the right way. She could have bagged anyone and been a wife." Somebody else says, "I feel the game used her. He know damn well he was never going to make her a wife. So sad." Somebody else says, she chose that life. Sorry. The game? Come on." And then the last comment that they have here. "So she's a single mom. I guess she's not with the baby daddy. I'm not surprised with that man." So, yeah, we
I hope
kind
she's
of.
not surprised either because we all saw it. Like the
Mhm.
game, girl.
I think she just probably wanted to be a mom so bad. Maybe she was just willing. So, or maybe they did. Well, the way they were, like the way she was sitting on his lap and shit, it did look like there was something there. I do think she was genuinely in love with him. Him, on the other hand, though, with this problematic Sagittarius, oh,
Women put so much emotion into their relationships. It's sad because now this is where they wind up caring about men who can pretend or act like they care about you in the same manner, but they don't. They don't, and mm, that's not to me giving her a real pass though, because this man, this particular man, any kind of person would have vetted and say at least don't get pregnant by him. I can't have any sympathy for her. Not that she asked for it. Um, she got what she got, and she's gonna be okay. She'll be okay. But I just wouldn't want this man to be my baby's father. No. But hey, she'll be all right.
exactly. This is like a maybe 1 or 2 night thing, honey. Because Jason is not ugly. He's not an ugly man. But would I have his baby? Well, I can't have kids, no way. But if I could have kids, no, I would not
No,
have it.
I'd make sure of that. Go to the parties, whatever, enjoy the little uh, life that he provides for you, hanging out among other celebrities and so on and so forth. But I would have been looking for a better option while I was on his arm, or so I wouldn't have got pregnant. And I know pregnancy happens, it happens, but there's just mm-mm.
Yeah, and I kind of like. I think Shawnee, she not Shawnee, but Shawnee's she. She wanted this. Like she wanted the game. Like because the thing is, look at who her mom is. Her mom has been playing that game. Honey. You remember when she got with Carl Crawford and had that baby? Baby, look, she got baseball money, honey. And you know, baseball money is long. So
Yeah, but didn't this dude get sued by somebody and having to sell off? Is this the one who's having to sell off stuff to pay this lawsuit against him, or is that somebody else?
is it, girl? Let me Google real quick.
I might have my rappers mixed up, but I don't know. It's not just about the money, though. What kind of person would you want your baby's father to be? For me, I guess I'm looking at it through my whatever color glasses, but yeah, I guess if all you're after is existing on child support and never having to work or whatever, making money with your pretty privilege, maybe this works for you.
Mm-hmm. Or some girls just like being a bird. Ask me how I know, because you see, y'all know if I can have a baby, you know who my husband gonna be, my baby daddy gonna be. So and you know what, I'm okay with that. And I would love y'all sympathy, but I ain't just like Shawnee's. I ain't asked for.
I'm so happy that you can't. For that very reason.
Yes, honey. Now, when I look up Carl, I do see something popped up that says something that happened in June 2020. It says Carl Crawford sued for $1 million in because of a child drowning at his home. But I don't see
anything else.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, some rapper is having to sell off. He didn't pay the judgment or whatever. It might not be the game.
Are you? I think you might be. Are you thinking of Dame Dash?
No, that's somebody else. And he got a judgment against him that he wouldn't pay, and now he has to sell off, I think, his property and stuff. Yeah, it's not Dame Dash though.
Well, I'll look like later, and then if I find out who you're talking about, I will definitely remind the show when I do my surprise Sunday show. Well, let's see. I got 3 more stories left. This next story. So Snoop Dogg has been in the news a lot lately. He actually just had an album come out not too long ago. I won't be listening, but okay. But he's dissing Suge Knight in one of his songs. So I just shared this link from All Hip Hop. Snoop Dogg unleashes on Suge Knight, saying, "I bought everything you own." So Snoop Dogg fired a barrage of shots at Suge Knight on his new album, Is It a Crime?, to direct aim at the former Death Row boss over his recent remarks amid a long-running feud. On the track, Shut Your Bitch Ass Up, featuring Stressmatic, Snoop doesn't hold back, calling out Knight without naming him for allegedly lying, snitching, and being bitter about Snoop's 2022 takeover of Death Row Records. "I can see why you mad. I bought everything you own," Snoop raps, twisting the knife into the decades-old feud. He goes further, referencing Knight's incarceration, claiming he's housed in protective custody. "Now you and PC snitching on the phone." Then he adds, "Oh, bitch ass nigga, I'm a rich ass nigga, waiting for you to get home so we can get the shit on." Then the verse closes with another jab. Your jailhouse stories, they made up, nigga." The tension between the two hip-hop figures stretches back to 1998 when Snoop left Death Row Records amid internal chaos and legal trouble surrounding Knight. The tension reignited earlier this year when Knight publicly questioned the legitimacy of Snoop's acquisition of the label. "Snoop, you said I'm mad because you bought Death Row," Knight said in March. "What you buy? Shut me up. Show me where y'all paid the money to buy it. Show me the paperwork. Show me what you're on." Knight also made a series of inflammatory claims, including an allegation that Ray J once told him Snoop admitted to financing Tupac Shakur's murder. He also accused Snoop of trying to bail out Dwayne Keith D. Davis, who is currently facing charges tied to Shakur's 1996 killing. Snoop responded to those accusations on Instagram, writing, "This nigga won't stop talking about me. Mad because I own Death Row. I realize your real lies." Boy, he thought he ate with that one, child. Anyway. In a recent interview with Big Boy's Neighborhood, Snoop explained why he finally addressed Knight on wax. "I'm from the hood," he stated. "You can't keep throwing rocks at me and bullying me and think I ain't gonna say nothing or do nothing. I can't do nothing because you in PC, but I can say something." Shut Your Bitch Ass Up is one of 21 tracks on Is It a Crime, which dropped Thursday, May 14th. The album includes guest appearances from Pharrell Williams, Sexy Red, Wiz Khalifa, La Russell, and October London. The title track reimagined Sade's 1985 Is It a Crime? Okay, well, good for him. Snoop actually left a sour taste in my mouth, honey, after that Breakfast Club interview, when he was talking about what he said. They pretty much Charlamagne asked him like, how did he feel about the backlash with people when he performed at Trump's cryptocurrency event, and he talking about, oh well, I just called that 30 for 30 because for 30 years I did so great for the community, but now they want to get mad at me because I made millions of dollars in 30 minutes, and I was some other bullshit that I was like, boy, shut the fuck up, honey, with that receding hairline. Anyway, go ahead, Shirley.
So I was right about the previous story. Rapper The Game forced to sell his home to settle $7.13 million dollar lawsuit against Priscilla R.
Oh, Priscilla Rainey. Thank you and we talked about that. I can't believe I forgot that.
Yeah, I thought it was him.
I said, you see how you talk when you talk about so much tea, honey, you just forget about the shit. Now I see what Wendy Williams was going through.
You know me and my memory. I'm like, let me make sure I'm talking about the right person because I could be wrong, but I thought it was him.
We literally talked about that. Wow.
Yeah, we did. Okay, well, there you go. So this is her baby daddy. Anyway.
Yes, thank you for reminding me, honey. And does anybody want to add anything about Snoop and his weird ass before we go to the next story, child?
I just think he better shut the fuck up because I think Suge Knight is still a dangerous person, and he's not going to be in there that much longer. He can reach out and touch Snoop, and I know he probably have goons out here still on the street. So leave that man alone.
He better. If you know what I know about the Aries man, you better leave him the fuck alone. For real. Well, so the next story, it's kind of funny. I got 2 more stories left. This next one is hilarious. So, Jadakiss wants y'all to know that he tired of y'all calling him a Ninja Turtle.
What?
Yes, rapper Jadakiss says he wants y'all to stop calling him a Ninja Turtle. Y'all see, I just shared this link from Hot New Hip Hop. Jadakiss slams the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles after years of trolling.
I never heard that. Okay.
You never, a girl likes to hear it all the time. Well, it's a little clip that he was in a podcast, him and Styles P, and we're just gonna kind of watch him like talk and joke about it. It was kind of funny. Let me see.
Favorite Ninja Turtle.
I ate the fucking.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
man.
That's a first. Goddamn. I see that coming, son.
What
you going Donatello, son?
For years.
Oh, shit. You right, son. Oh, fuck, bro.
Fuck Ninja Turtle.
Oh, shit. Fuck all 4 of them. Yo, that's funny as fuck.
Ninja Turtle.
Oh, man.
Fuck out
I've seen that. No doubt.
I wasn't ready for that one.
They said fuck Ninja Turtles. And then they said that because all 4 of them. Then they said because he was wearing purple, they said, oh, well, you look like Donatello. Wow. Which happens to be my favorite Ninja Turtle. I actually used to be when I was younger, I was a huge fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, honey. And Donatello, he was like the genius of the group. He was the smart one. And I just loved him. I love that they brought it back with Donatello is the best turtle. Okay, wake that up, Hammy. Look at me and Hammy agreeing on something. And I love that they brought it back, and now April is a black girl. I love that. I love it. So, but yeah, Jadakiss said stop calling him a damn Ninja Turtle. And then
Hammy.
What Hammy say? I gotta go talk to a therapist. Now, and then this article says the Turtle Connections comes from Charlamagne the God, proclaims that Jada, Styles P, Jada, Styles, Neo, and himself are the real life superheroes. Charlamagne the God even pitched the idea of all 4 entertainers in a film together based on the cartoon. Jadakiss and Styles P definitely appeared against the idea. Neo
he's trying to be
embraced the
cute.
yeah, right. Neo embraced with his stupid ass, embraced the similarities every time he has appeared on the Breakfast Club. He understands that the joke and memes only come with being bald headed. Jadakiss grew his hair out over recent years. Then it ends with Jadakiss and Fat Joe launched a new podcast this week titled Joe and Jada. The show discusses pop culture and sports topics from the New Yorker's unique perspectives. Both rap stars have been making their rounds in the podcast landscape leading up to the new show. Well, congrats to them, but I won't be watching shit nothing with Fat Joe ass on there. And if it was just Jada by himself, I might give it a little listen, but Fat Joe can go straight to hell, honey, as far as I'm concerned.
You see that comment? That's where Donnie got his name. Remember the boxer?
Really?
He was a turtle.
Nice. Well, shout out to Donnie. Rest in peace, Don. I hope he's continuing to rest in peace.
Yeah.
Well, does anybody want to add anything about turtles before we go to the last story? Now, chat this last story. So before I start, I want to ask is give me some emojis or put in the chat. Are any of you wrestling fans like WWE or anything like that? Okay, so so y'all are not rest. So if I say the name Nikki Bella, that won't mean anything to y'all?
Not a damn thing.
Okay, go ahead, favorite Taurus.
Well, no, but I know who it is though.
You do know who Nikki Bella is?
I do. I know that she's a twin, and then she and her twin sister were a tag team in wrestling. I know that much.
Oh, well, that's what's up. Well, we about to know her for a completely different reason now, honey. That ass got to pay $3,500 a month in child support. So I just shared this link from TMZ. Nikki Bella to pay Artem, and I'm sure I'm going to say this man's last name wrong. Is that Chingvisev? $3,500 a month. Right. She pays him $3,500 monthly in child support, child. So Nikki Bella has to pay her ex-husband a whole lot of cash, including thousands of dollars a month in child support as part of their final divorce settlement. The former WWE wrestler and her pro dancer ex reached an agreement for Nikki to pay Artem $3,500 each month for the care of their son, Mateo. She's also forking over a six-figure lump sum to him, $100,000 for now, and then another $100,000 before the end of this year. According to the docs obtained by TMZ, Nikki's also responsible for covering the cost of Mateo's speech therapist, but they'll go halvesies on all of his extracurricular activities. Bella is walking away with all of the trust in her name, including Stephanie Nicole Garcia Entertainment and Bonita. Artem and Nikki plan to split up the major holidays when it comes to custody of Mateo. They'll trade off each year. As you know, cops arrested Artem in August of last year after he allegedly attacked her. Nikki filed a restraining order against Artem, and then he fired back, claiming Nikki was really the aggressor, and she made up everything to pin the blame on him. They reached a settlement back in November of 2024, but the judge recently signed off on the docs. We've reached out to Nikki and Artem. So far, no word back. So he was on So You Think You Can Dance. Oh, was he? Okay. Thank you for that note, Will.
Yeah, he was on So You Think You Can Dance season 2. He was also on Dancing with the Stars.
Oh. Ow.
Look at his eyes.
Yep. And it's not really sitting right with me that, she had to file a restraining order against him and she accused him of abuse, and now she's the one that has to pay him monthly for the child, and the child has custody. It's just but at the same time, like, courts normally wouldn't, correct me if I'm wrong, but courts, they tend to side with the mother in most cases, right? And but him
probably travels a lot, and there's other reasons that he
yeah
kind of. But I was wondering if there's a reason the domestic violence won't. There it is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
Well, if it's in California, California has been known to be more on the side of the father. So if
what?
Yeah, it's one of the very few states in this country where California kind of is more lenient towards the fathers as opposed to the mothers, I guess, because of whatever cases they've seen so far. I can't speak for all the cases in all of California, but I've known firsthand, many times the state judges, they tend to side with the mother unless there's like a really solid case against the father. It's really odd.
Wow, that is my mind is blown right now. Wow. Well, that's that on that. The two lump sums that she got to pay him $100,000 twice, and she paid him once already, and then she'll be paying him another $100,000 before the year ends. She has to continue to pay for the son's speech therapy and provide the $3,500 monthly. This is insane to me, child. After an abuse allegation, like that's the. And then after this information that Will just taught me, I'm really feeling the way now, child.
Well, and that's assuming she even wanted to keep the child with her. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is his baby. Let him take care of it. She's willing to do that. You never know.
Never know. Well, y'all, that was all the tea that I had for us today. So before we head out, did any of you have any tea that you wanted to share? Or any tea that I might have missed? All right, y'all. Well, again, it is always a pleasure when y'all come and sip tea with me. Thank you for coming to sip tea with me in the middle of your busy schedule. Now, like I said, we will not have a Monday show, but we will have a Sunday show to make up for us not having a Monday show. And in the meantime, you all have a fabulous weekend. He said, thank you for attending Will and Wagon. I mean, Chill and Wagon.
Kiss, 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 kiss.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, everybody.